got your books.
Yes, sir.
Two new guys this weekend.
Oriented.
I've been oriented. Uniqueness. I like your interactions, I really enjoy it. Always pick up. How's it going? My young friend here on the side, I want you a grant and always tells me more or less how I'm going with the class. But uniqueness. Why? Let's do some interaction. You know me, if you don't interact, I'm going to pick on you. How are you going to change your life? John, how are you going to change your life? Huh?
Changing your ways.
Changing your ways, okay. Right.
And to change your thinking.
Okay, what else?
Being teachable and willing.
Okay, what else?
Not using drugs.
That's one. It's a sobriety thing. Eh? That's what the AA works on. They work on the sobriety thing, which you got the heroes of the faith. I remember, wow, 23 years ago. 23 years ago, and I remember being at Sanka Horizon, and they insisted that.
Sorry, John has the life coaching.
They insisted that every Friday night there was an AA meeting, and even being more prone towards marijuana and LSD and that, they forced you to go to AA meetings because there was a particular guy there. At that time, his name was Bob. Bob was the hero of the AA scene, and he'd been clean for 20 years. So he got the heroes of faith of sobriety. But, we all know that sometimes what happens is we sober for a period of time, and we're going to use on the weekend. We decide to con ourselves into using it for the weekend, or decide to con ourselves to go for a few beers at a pub. And it loosens up your resolve, you lose your inhibitions, and you decide to use this little drug of choice. And the next day you wake up and you go, oh no, what have I done? And you feel terrible. And instead of stopping there, then you decide to carry on, and just a roller coaster because condemnation comes in. So sobriety is all fair and well, it's fantastic, but what do people do when they do that? If they don't understand that, it doesn't mean you must keep. The Bible says that a righteous man falls 7 times and 8. So you've made a mistake, you turn to God, you ask God to forgive you, you stand up and you keep moving forward. Not in arrogance, that's a different thing. People can do that in arrogance and they fall anyway because pride comes before a fall. It's what a cat's 22. You understand? So sobriety, what else? Teachable, sobriety, what else? Changing your mind, what do you say?
Changing your ways.
Changing your ways.
Listening.
Forgiving yourself.
Forgiving yourself, very important. Very, very important.
Forgiving God.
So, is there already an agreement here with what's been said? No, forgiving God, no, it's a good thing. You're already in agreement with things. Can anybody add?
Stop making impulsive decisions. Rather base your decisions on principles.
I like it. You know, I'm a big thing with principle. It's a big thing with principle. I read something the other day, fantastic, and I might have mentioned it in class a week or two ago. They said that if you base your decisions on principle, 99% of your decisions have already been made. Okay? If you base your decisions on principles, 99% of your decisions have already been made. Okay, so what else?
Being subordinate.
Be subordinate. Yeah. Don't be insubordinate. It's the opposite. So allowing authority. We've got a big issue with authority, all of us. All of us have a big issue with authority. What else?
You must behave.
Okay, behave. Just throw it. Come.
Accepting God in your life.
Accepting God in your life.
Doing the opposite of what you used to do.
Yes, really nice. I like that. I used to use that when I was leading. I had a few cell groups I used to run in Joburg, in Benoni area. I remember that one of my philosophies was if I feel like doing that, I do the opposite. The reason it worked for me because I was such a such a spontaneous person. If I'm at home, I'll go. If it was LSD, I'll take LSD. You know what I mean? So I thought that if I mess up my mess up my emotions and the way it works, and I can't listen to it really. That was me, where I'm at now, you know, where I was at then. So the opposite of the way I feel, you do the opposite of what you do, because the way you feel normally guides your decisions.
Yeah, it's being humble.
Being humble,
Yeah, because it leads to the way you feel then.
Yeah,
Go explore that.
being sorry for yourself. You want to give me something? Hilton, leg, how's it going?
No, it's not.
Anything you can give us to follow this conversation? What else? What can you think you can do to change your life?
I can't do anything.
Do you agree with everybody we said?
Absolutely.
How's the leg going?
It's not at the moment.
Okay. It's a code. It's a code. You can't know.
Sitting goals.
Setting goals, very important. Ben, I thought you were going to say something. Nothing. Must it? Yeah. Okay, so all of us have an idea of how to change our life. All of us have an idea, am I right? Every one of us, even if those who haven't answered or given a thing of how you change your life, all of us have an idea. Even if you do it, get quiet. Right. Now the question is, then if you know it, then why don't you do it?
I'm proud.
We all have answers again. We all have answers again. Then why don't we do it? We all give good answers. We all give good answers. We're able to talk the talk. So why are we unable to walk the walk?
Stubborn.
Okay, stubborn.
Lazy.
Lazy.
Secure.
It's a mindset. You know, it's just the program, just programming. You know the thing, but subconsciously.
We need to defrag.
Yeah.
Defrag takes quite a while. Not the defragging take. You know it's computers. Good, it's up to you.
It's Joyce Meyer says it's the battle is in you, so it's a battlefield all the time. You need to choose whether you're going to want to accept or whether you don't want to accept.
Yeah, we need to see ourselves for what we are, what we do. Mark Murdoch said a while back, and I like what he said, what you do every now and again, because we like to pride ourselves on what we did every now and again. We've done it before, we've been clean for a period of time before, we've all these things, all our heroic day we have a memory of, all the good things we've done, all the times when we've just got it right. Not remembering and understanding that if we did it consistently, you wouldn't be sitting in this chair. So what he says is this, he says what you do every now and again is a potential you. What you do every now and again, the thing that flash of brilliance, what you do every now and again is a potential you. What you do day in and day out is you. Right? So if you want to change the issue part, what's going to change? The day in and day out. And what you do every now, not the flash in the pan. Now watch this now. If you've been sober for a period of time and you mess up, what did I say before that? I said what you do every now and again is a potential you, which you do on a consistent basis. Is you. Now you're sober, now you mess up. If you can understand that and you have it ingrained in yourself, you go, wait a minute, this is potentially me. This is potentially me. I don't want that. And you continue what you did day by day. So yes, we need to change our actions. We need to change the way we think. We need to change the way we perceive. The thing that stops us a lot is we're unwilling to look at ourselves the way we should look at ourselves. We are unwilling to be honest about where we're at. We always think that our set of situations is unique. We do. And when I first started doing this a few years ago, I remember hearing the stories and thinking, oh, I've got to sort this, I've got to sort that. Now I hear the stories, and believe it or not, it's not that I'm trying to be nasty, it's that there's not one excuse that I've heard of why you can't do what you need to do that I haven't heard before. There's not one. I've not heard anything unique. I've heard it so much from different people when they decide not to finish the program, or not to do what they need to do, or not to go through what they need to do. I've heard it. Now imagine, I've only been doing this for a few years. Imagine like Derek or Lucas. They've heard it all. And the only thing that can harden you to the degree. But the thing what happens is you believe that our excuses of why we can't do it, because we're married, or because we got a business, because we have a child, because it's been heard before. If that's the truth, if that was real, then why didn't it affect you before you did it? Why did you allow yourself to go down the rabbit hole? If your circumstances are so unique, why do you respond the same as everybody else? Your set of circumstances is so unique, but you respond the same as everybody else. You're being predictable. Why are we predictable? Because most of the decisions we make is based on the way we feel. 9 out of 10 of the decisions are based on the way we feel. I spoke about the mind of Christ on Thursday. I preached on Sunday morning, and the same thing's coming up over and over again. If we base our decisions on the way we feel, despite the reason to why we feel like we feel, we're still predictable. We're still predictable. Doesn't matter how we see it, doesn't matter how we think, doesn't matter how we dress, doesn't matter how much stronger or bigger we are still predictable. You're predictable if you base your decisions on the way you feel. And the sad thing about that, if we base our decisions on the way we feel. We're basing our decisions on something that is temporary. That feeling is the thing that's not unique. We think our thinking, or we don't look different in the mirror, we think that's unique. No. That feeling is not unique. What you're basing your decision on is not unique. So when you have a uniqueness thinking error, you think that the way you feel is unique to the person next to you. You find many times, if you expose yourself or you open up about how you're feeling, you'll find another 4 or 5 people feel the same way. Have you noticed that? So we think we're so unique because we feel a certain way. No, many people feel the same way. Now, are you going to do the same as everybody else? You need to start making decisions different. You need to start making different decisions. You need to start thinking differently about the way you feel. I don't believe that the way you feel was ever meant to be your compass. Ever. If a compass says north that way, any compass you get will say true north. All the compasses will do the same. If it's a real compass, they all have the same direction, right? So if you have a big compass, a small compass, I don't know, just give me, or any type of compass, a pink compass, a blue compass. No, the compass is still the same, north is the same way, am I right? So why the hell would we use a mechanism that changes day in and day out to direct our lives? Think about it. Why do we use that mechanism, the thing that today you love and tomorrow you hate it? It's a bit extreme, but why would we use that? Today we think, yes man, we're making progress, and this afternoon someone tells us you can't do this, and you think, the center just sucks. If we just go, we're using that as a compass for our life. Now we change our minds. That's what we're doing. We're using a mechanism that doesn't always point north. Today north is that way. Today that way. No, we need to base our decisions on something that continues to point. That's the way north, whatever north is. I'm not pointing south right now, but get the gist of what I'm saying. But that's what we do. We do that, and we think because we're so angry now, or because we're so sad now, or because we're so depressed now, that now the special compass we use, this unique compass we use, is still pointing us in the right direction. Not a chance. So if you're a wise man or woman, what are you going to do? You're going to use the compass always. Always. Oh no, I don't feel like following the compass today. Huh? That is what we do. No, not today. Oh, it's got 7 days extra for swearing. Hello? I've just been told I come on my weekend. I've got a letter from my family saying they're angry with me. Now the compass doesn't work anymore. That's what we do. How are we ever going to change if we don't remove that? And I think that's where uniqueness comes in. We think that this thing is unique. It's not unique. And you become predictable. You get upset because people tell you, look here, if you do like this and this is going to happen. You get offended at your counsellor, offended at your mom and your dad, offended at your boss. You think, who the hell? And then what do we do then later? We prove them right. We prove them right for the sake of our offense. Our offense. Oh, shush. That's what we do. Burp it, feed it. Huh? Change snappy. Hello. He or she considers himself to be special, one of a kind, and totally different from others, especially other criminals. You as a person is unique. To God, you're unique. You have a special purpose. But, what's what happens here? Although in reality he may be very predictable and very much like other criminals. It's no use having a unique purpose and calling, but you respond like everybody else responds. If you have a unique purpose and calling, then you have to do things that other people aren't willing to do. You must go the extra mile. In your own capacity. Not comparing to Greg or comparing to Sean, comparing to... No, in your own capacity. In your own capacity. And very much like other criminals, he wants to be above the rest and stresses his unique set of circumstances. You guys have heard the unique set of circumstances, or why you can't be here, and it's always unique. Those of you who've been here for periods of time, or those of you who open your ears, have you ever heard anything new? No, it's the same. There was a guy a while back, and I remember the reason he said he couldn't stick to his commitments is because that's a hard one to use, but I'm going to use it because it's important. He said the reason he needs to go home is because his daughter was crying for him over the phone. So what do you think I did? I didn't go. It wasn't my counselling, I was just in the office at the time. And I remember I got a bit of, how could righteous anger, because I said to him, if her crying when you were out there, was it enough for you to stop using? Why is it enough for you to change now? Uniqueness. Thank God he finished. And thank God he's there now he's now there for his daughter. It was never enough. Think. You got to think, guys. You got to really think. Go and ask yourself the question. All the reasons of why you can't be here. Like I said, if you had it then, it didn't only appear now. It didn't only appear now when you're in rehab. Now you got the epiphany. You need a job. You got an epiphany. Your child needs you. You got the epiphany. No, you've always known this. You've always known it. That is not enough to make you change. It is not enough to make you change. You need to realize that you're using the wrong compass, get the right compass, and go in the direction you need to go. And it's an effort. If getting there is 100 kilometers or getting there is 6 months, then how can you short circuit it? How can you? Unless you could catch a Concorde, I don't know.
Time travel.
Time travel, whatever. But is it based on that? Is it based on reality?
No.
No.
Manipulate the system.
But then you short circuit, then you're not going to walk the 100 kilometers. Then you're not going to walk the 100 kilometers. Now, the 100 kilometer walk is a mission, but by the time you get there, guess what? You're a lot stronger than what you were when you started walking. Now, if you short circuit it, when you get to the point, guess what? You haven't done the 100 kilometers needed to be strong enough to be there. The science of rockets, eh?
Science of rockets.
Corrective. In group. Now this is important. This is seeing things as they are. Looking at yourself the way you should look at yourself. In group, find similarities to others when pointing out others' problems or errors. That's the nice thing about groups. Groups in particular, when you have support groups or is that you sometimes, even life stories. You guys say life stories? You always hear something that you realize, let's do something similar. And you realize, I did the same thing. You start finding similarities in each other. When you start realizing, whoa, my circumstances aren't that unique. Maybe the description of what happened, how it happened, might be unique. But guess what? It's having the same effect on you here. When people are angry, when people get really angry, 9 out of 10 you'll do something really, really compulsive. 99% of the time, you're really, really compulsive. Doesn't matter who you are. Big guy, small guy, fat guy, thin guy. Huh? Follow up by examining how this relates to oneself. Observe, I like this, ordinary people, or the normal people, solving life problems and applying them to oneself. Okay, a good example will be that the people had a rough weekend, but yet they still got to work on a Monday. With a rough weekend, everything we're going to recover on a Monday. It is, that's what we do. Listen, I must admit, sometimes when you think like alcohol, or you stop flying from the night before, it's very difficult to go to work. It's very difficult. But then when we do it once, and then we do it again, and then we do it again, and again. And what happens when our boss finally fires us, we want to take the boss to the CCMA. Yes, I remember actually, I read about 70 staff members. And I was the guy that did the CCMA cases, and this was a mission, man. And you always find Mondays, or after a holiday or something, they're always not there. But if you do your homework properly, if you do it right, you can actually press charge and you can have the person removed. And without doubt, without fail. There's not one time when I've done it when I wasn't taken to the CCMA. Not once! Not once! But sir, she's been off every Monday for the last...
Got the proof.
Got the proof. But see, we think we're unique. It's a unique set of circumstances. It's different for us. That's not different. You'll only be different if you work according to principle. That's when God's calling your life and purpose in life will come out and flow. But if you're operating like the norm, on the way you feel, you're no different to the person next to you. Observe ordinary people solving life problems and apply them to oneself. Watch this. Search. You must take the time out. Search for similarities instead of differences. Hey, we like that, eh? We see the difference. This is why it's different for us. Because I've got a daughter and you've got a son. It is, that's what we do. We laugh, but it's fact. Especially when they're in an emotional state. We justify. Look for the similarities. Remember, speaks about in Scripture that Jesus was tempted in 3 ways. Remember, in all ways. He said in all ways. These are 3 of those definitions. But in all ways, but yet without sin. Right? You've heard that. I'm sure you've heard that Scripture. A lot of you have heard the Scripture. But that says it in the Bible. It says he was tempted in all ways. And then you heard the one preacher say that one day, was he tempted with a crack pipe? Right? Was he tempted with a bag of cat? See, I don't think that existed then. You didn't turn the baking powder into cocaine with the wedding. You turned the water to wine. That was the thing of the day. So what are they talking about? It says here that he was tempted. It says the lust of the eyes, the lust of the flesh, the pride of life. Done. There's only 3 ways you can be tempted. The lust of the eyes, the lust of the flesh, pride of life. We just find the difference. We just find why it's okay. Hey, today it's fine for us to pursue the lust of the flesh because she's really pretty. I don't know. But that's what we do. We find a way and then we make it unique. No, I love her. Okay, you're married, you've got 4 kids and she's the head of the... But we do that. We do that. We become predictable. The thing is, I think the big thing you need to understand about unique thinking area is that I know that none of us like being called predictable. It's like an ego thing. What? Being predictable? Not a chance. But if you're thinking like this, you're predictable. These thinking errors, where's Jason? What did you say about the thinking errors? He's that plague us. He's right. You're predictable. Plague us. The plague's a bit heavy though.
So they're problems.
Yes, they give us problems.
Ruin our lives.
No, okay, wait. Just as much as you're predictable, that the answer to the question that you pose about how you can change remains the same. You mentioned it. We need to change our lives. We need to be humble. We need to. And what happens now? The unique thinking area. You go now. In that moment, you don't have to be teachable right now because you're angry. You don't have to change your ways now because you're angry. See, it's the same. Excuses. 1 Corinthians 4 verse 6 states, "And these things, brethren, I have in a figure transferred to myself and to Apollos for your sakes, that you might learn in us not to think of men above that which is written, that no one of you be puffed up for one against another." There's the scripture that says that you don't think more of yourself than what you ought. Rather than identifying people in the Corinthian church who were wrong, watch this. Instead of identifying with people who were wrong, Paul used himself as an example, and Apollos as an illustration. He did this hoping to teach the church a lesson in humility. The Greek word for learn has related down, which means discipline. Ooh, huh? You like it? Nice, eh? So you want to learn. You want to learn something new, you need to discipline yourself. If you look at Jesus' disciples, they were called disciples, which translated means disciplined ones. The Bible speaks about we have not a spirit of watches. We are afraid of a lot of things. We are afraid of the dark, or we are afraid of what we'll lose, or we're afraid of our parents turning on us. We're afraid of all these things. And it says that the answer to the question is this. It says that we have not a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and it says of sound mind. King James says of self-discipline. We have a spirit of self-discipline. So for you to overcome your fear and your inadequacies and your shortcomings is for you to operate in that spirit of discipline. You have it already. You have to feel it. We're waiting to feel that spirit of discipline. Oh, I can feel discipline today. No! That's what we do. We're laughing, but that's the truth. That's the truth. I'm working on something right now, and I'm at 9 out of 10 of what I'm working on right now on a personal level. It's a mission. I don't feel like it. Where is discipline based on the way you feel? Ask yourself a question. If you're a self-disciplined person, if you're training for the Olympic Games, or you're training, or you're studying for exam, where does it change? Where does it change? Where's your circumstances change? Where does the unique discipline? Discipline is discipline. It's not based on the way you feel. It's not based on the way you feel. Also, when you get into it, in the morning you wake up and you're a bit, and then you feel like it for the day. But trust me, it's not going to be every day. You have to take the spirit of self-discipline that God said He's given you. He's given you the spirit of self-discipline. You need to exercise it. You need to walk in it. You need to put it on. You need to decide. Fear. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is being able to do what you need to do despite your fear. People that went to war, they faced the battle. I'm just sure 9 out of 10 of those guys were afraid. But in it, they decided to have courage. Discipline. Rather than identify people in the Corinthian church who were wrong, Paul used himself and Apollos as illustrations. He did this hoping to teach the church a lesson in humility. The Greek word for learn has related noun, which means discipline, or one who practices what he is taught. Ooh, I like that. Remember a while back we were speaking? Knowledge. What's power? Knowledge. I know this one.
There's tissues inside there.
Where?
Under your book.
In the podium.
I'm going to get some there. I don't feel like mentioning that. Okay, I'm looking for tissues. Knowledge is power. You hear that say, knowledge is power. But what we speak about that today, it's applied knowledge that is power. When you apply what you know, that's power. Then it becomes power. You apply what you know, it becomes power. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
I'm too scared to blow. I am. Just wipe it. If there's anything the full commission to tell me, there's nothing about it. Just go. I'll just look at it. Move on. Applied. So discipline is practices what he is taught. What's amazing is we know a lot of things, we don't practice what we talk. We don't practice what we know. We like to think we practice what we know. We like to talk the talk. We like to get offended at people that don't do what you know they should do, but you don't do what you know they should do. Huh? Got it? We like to judge and get upset at people that they're missing it. You know they're missing it. But you yourself that says they're missing it, you can't even do what you think you should do. You can't even do it. If you guys are wondering how I know this, where are we sitting? Where am I standing? We're standing in the university of people that do what they need to do. Or we sit in the university of people that don't do what they need to do. Learning to do what they need to do. Which means discipline and practice what he's taught. Greek cultural thinking was much like the uniqueness thinking area we are dealing with here. They believed that humility was a trait of a slave. A sign of weakness, not a characteristic of real men. Paul presents the similarities in order to help people see themselves. In 1 Corinthians 10, verse 12, says, "Wherefore let him that thinketh he stand take heed, pay attention, lest he fall." If you think that you are above the weaknesses of other people, you are dead wrong. Galatians 6, verse 3 warns us, "For if a man think himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself." That is the worst kind of deception. Self-deception. The worst thing about being deceived is that you do not know you are deceived. Another divine viewpoint relating to the thinking area is found in 1 Corinthians 11:31. The verse says, "For if we would judge ourselves, we should not be judged." Oakland Dollar preached this a while back, and I really enjoyed it. Get this now. But if you judge yourself while you're still alive, judge yourself, pass judgment, and fix what you need to fix. Allow conviction, you will not be judged when you die. If you say you're judging yourself, don't condemn yourself, judge yourself. Say, okay, I'm missing it here, this is what I need to go through, this is what I need to change, and you judge yourself accordingly, you allow the consequences to take place, and you change your life. It says, when you die, you shall not be judged. But if you refuse to judge yourself here, and pass, and correct what you need to correct, then you'll be judged. Very powerful. Yeah? So God will not judge you if you judge yourself here. Let me show you right to the point. If you say, I'm missing it and I need a Savior, and you ask Christ into your life, what have you done? And you start living for Christ, what have you done? You've judged yourself. You said, I'm missing it here, I need a Savior, I'm far from perfect, I keep making mistakes, I need you. Without you, I can't do this. You will not be judged when you die. But if you refuse it, and you refuse to be obedient to it, and you refuse to walk in it, guess what happens when you die? You're judged. Amazing. It's all up to you. It's actually up to you. That's what I think one of the biggest choices you need to make in your life. For if we would judge ourselves, we should not be judged. Examine yourself, take a good look at yourself. Judging or critically appraising ourselves saves us a lot of misery. Be real, man. Be real where you really at. Really, be honest with where you're at. It's difficult. I know it's difficult. It's difficult to go, yes, I'm not as good as I thought I was. It's difficult. It is difficult. It's difficult to think, yes, but you know you're missing it. You know. You really know. When you're using and you know you're missing it. You know you are. But to really see how far you're missing it, that's difficult. We're just missing it a little bit. you're missing it. How are you going to fix something if you don't know how far it's broken? How you know, if you don't know where it's broken, how are you going to fix it? How are you going to make it right?
You can take it apart.
Exactly. You need to look at it. You need to look at it and see what you need to do to fix it. If you're pretending it's not that bad, you're never going to do what you need to do to change it. That's what we do. We come in here and we think, I'm not as bad as the person next to me. Hey? Not as bad. I didn't go that far. Those of you who are a bit hardened to the addiction, you've come to a place and you realise that the things you said you wouldn't do 3 years ago, you do now. I remember years ago, I thought, at least I didn't do this, this, and this. Wow, and I've done this, this, and this. It really sucks. And then some. If you're sitting here and think you're not as bad as the person next to you, continue down this road, you might just meet the person next to you. Good choice. It says, have a reality check. We are really not so different. If we do not judge our own behavior, we will never change. Remember earlier on, we spoke about it. We like to judge ourselves according to our intent. Okay? Our intent. When people criticize us or correct us, we say that we didn't mean that. How many times? I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean that. I didn't mean for that to happen. Okay? The problem is if it keeps happening in the same way, it doesn't matter what you didn't mean for it to happen. Your actions are saying, well, I would care. You know, getting the same result over and over again. Obviously you mean for it to happen, even though you might think you don't mean for it to happen. Okay? It's like saying, if you have 5 accidents, it's because you're a speedy driver going 160, 170, and I don't know, just you drive ridiculously, and your intent wasn't to crash. You're going the speed that will cause you to crash, especially if you're not a racing driver. You can't say that wasn't my intent, especially if it's 4 or 5 times, and we do the same. We say, no, it wasn't my intent. I didn't mean to swear. It wasn't my intent to swear. I didn't mean to not do my bed properly. Huh? Okay, and then in 5 days in a row you get extras for not doing your bed properly, but it wasn't my intent. Okay, remember the thing, you can change it around. If you can change it around and judge everyone else according to their intent, and judge yourself according to your actions, it will only be a better world. Look at my actions and say, yes, I know I didn't intend this, but this was a result of my actions. This is a result of my actions. So it doesn't matter, you can change the way you think about it, like driving 140 km per hour and then thinking all happy thoughts. It doesn't take away from it, you're going 140 or 160 km per hour. It doesn't take away from the accident. Thinking happy thoughts when you have the accident doesn't take away from your intent in action. If you don't go home at night, you promise to go home. Doesn't matter what it is. My intent, when I used to go visit Nobrega in the doors, my intent wasn't to go, my intent wasn't, really, it wasn't. Believe me, it wasn't my intent. My intent was to house it. But if I go and say house it over and over again, even though my intent at the time, and I mean it at the time, my intent wasn't to get high. If my result is that I get as high as a flipping kite, and I've been missing for 2 days, it doesn't matter what my intent, but my action says that, hey, I can't do that anymore. You can't do that anymore. The result remains the same despite your intent. There's some of it. I'll sit out in the car. I'll take them down to my car and I'll say, how's it in the car? Huh? You're going to get out the car. So what's the moral of the story? I can't go there. I can't go to house it. If I want to stick to my promise, I can't go to house it. To be worthwhile, we must maintain a satisfactory standard of behavior. To do so, we must learn to correct ourselves when we do wrong, and to credit ourselves when we do right. How many of you correct yourselves? You understand? Correct yourself. We know where we went wrong, we know what we did wrong, but how many of us correct ourselves? Like actually correct ourselves. Okay, the way I'm walking right now is the wrong way, and then you go, okay, I should, and then go this way. Or go towards doors to say, how's it? And then I'd make a U-turn. I'll go back. That's correcting myself. Correcting myself isn't driving there knowing I shouldn't be driving there. That's what we think correct ourselves. That doesn't mean correct yourself. Okay? Bad. Don't do it. What are you crapping yourself out? You're having a lie. Bad boy. You need to correct yourself. Flaying the stuff away. So I remember that a friend of mine, we had this huge revelation and epiphany about addiction and eternity and obviously flying and fire. And we decided together, okay, it's finished for us now. We're finished now, there's quite a bit left. And I convinced him, he convinced me, we convinced each other to throw it away. So we corrected ourselves, and about 3 minutes later we'd taken it out again. It was like intense, it was like a heavy conversation, like revelations, the oracles of how life works, and yes, we both, yeah, you're right. No, the right thing to do is not to finish the scene. The right thing to do is finish away. And we stayed, and I remember, threw it away. And we're sitting there, we look at each other and go, that is not correcting yourself. That is not correcting. Correcting would have been to leave it there. The best way would have been to burn it. Name yourself. The best way there would have been to like, don't destroy it. No, you know you.
No.
Wrap it up in plastic, put it in your bin.
Yeah. Should some Close it up properly, man.
So correct.
Yeah. To do so, we must learn to correct ourselves when we do wrong, to credit ourselves when we do right. Morals, standards, values, and right and wrong behavior are all ultimately related to filling our need for self-worth. We can't change the way we behave, but we can create an environment for you to make a choice to change the way you behave. And you know what that environment is? It isn't us doing a special environment for you. It's just life. It's actually just life. You get upset for someone correcting you. If you're living life, there's always going to be someone correcting you, or guiding you, or leading you, or trying to speak to life. That's why life's designed. We've just refused that correction. We've just refused that guidance. So when you come to an environment like this, or a place like this, you're put in an environment where you're forced to focus on it. You can't, today, you guys decide you're going to go for a movie tonight. You have to stay here and face it. See, that's different. You can't just walk with the film. Well, you shouldn't just walk with the film. You need to face it. The environment's been given to you to practice. And if you're upset with the counsellor, upset with the situation, upset with the other place, whatever the vibe is, life's like that. If you were that happy with your life, man, you wouldn't be doing what you were doing. Come on, man, what are you running away from? If your life's so fantastic and you had so much going for you out there, then why are you running away from it? Why are you running away from it? You need to be honest with yourself. You need to be honest with yourself. Where you're really at. What you're going through emotionally is not unique. The things you're facing is not unique. You only become unique when you make decisions different to others. If you want to do what's that saying? If you want to do differently from what other 99% of the people, you need to do something different from what they do. So we're all fantastic. We think we got it together, but we do exactly the same as everybody else, and we expect to be treated differently. We expect the consequence to be different. We expect the correction to be different. Well, it's a very simple example. If someone irritated the crap out of you and decided to drop the F-bomb, and you go to a committee and they give you a thing, but you're still irritated with the person who frustrated you. Okay, I understand. Like irritated you, antagonized you, whatever the vibe might be. But the question is this: did you swear? Yes. What is the rule? The rule doesn't say in brackets, if you don't orientation, it doesn't say in brackets that if the oak irritates you, it's one day. Okay? Does it say it in brackets?
No.
It says if you swear. Now you're angry with your boss, you drive 180 km per hour, and you tell the traffic cop, I was angry with my boss. Does the rule change for you? Were you speeding? Despite you being angry with your boss, guess what? If you crash at that speed, you kill other people. If we don't give you consequence for that F-bomb, the other people that do it regularly and do it just blatantly, we cannot correct them because they say, why did we correct you? And even though we have a standard, we say, but wait, he was antagonized, you're not being antagonized, it's just the way you talk, but you need to change it. Will they listen to that? Uniqueness, eh? So guys, you all know how to change. You're all given answers. Now change. And back to the answer to why we know this is because we use the same decision making, we use the same compass. So we get all the information within a real, those who've been in more than one. All the information you need, what happens is you use the same mechanism to make you decide decisions. And you're wondering why you're not changing. So what you do here, one of the biggest things, if you want to be wise now, you come to this place and you decide differently to the way you used to. You move that compass, decide differently. Decide based on principle, decide based on you must listen to the authorities that are above you. Decide based on the guidelines. Decide based on if I feel like running away, don't run away. If I feel like going, don't go. And if I feel like swearing, don't swear. See, start basing it differently. Start basing it the opposite. If you practice it enough here, when you leave, you must have a better chance out there. Doesn't mean 100% you'll make it. Because what happens a lot of times when we leave, We run after everything that would make us comfortable before we came back. Not the drugs. Let's go back to the drugs. You run after all the things. You sleep later because sleeping up early is better comfortable for you. You go and see friends because you're just curious about how they're doing, and then you wonder why you fall. That's it. Can I pray us up? Father God, I want to thank you for your Holy Spirit. I want to thank you that you've given us a new heart, Lord. I thank you that you've renewed our consciousness, Lord, our conscious thinking, Lord, that we actually start feeling the way we should do about things. Start seeing things for how we should see things, Lord. And I just thank you, Lord, that we're no longer driven by dysfunctional feelings, Lord, but we are guided by principle. I thank you for this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.